the big thing, we're very, very quiet at the moment. I think that is not our personality, is it? That's not the personality of this team being quiet.
No,
well, Jimmy got us into a lot of trouble.
Hey, we all got ourselves into a lot of trouble, Barry.
But you, come here, wait a minute, you never know who's listening.
The only thing was, it was always me to get caught. I mean, the rest is the worse than me.
Wait a minute, man, can I see this? I thought Hampden was our training ground.
Of course,
We went there just to finalise things.
You're talking about the big fella that's sitting, and I mean, as I said, across my shoulder here.
He was always there, wasn't he?
He was always there, but I'll tell you, we all talk about playing and whatnot. But to be honest, it took us out of a lot of sticky situations. No, just on the field, off the field, and they'll talk about.
Speak for yourself, you know.
Right, certainly, I don't know, by the way, but it took you a few situations, it took him a few situations, of course. But what I'm trying to say is that the man himself, they all talk about him being a genius and everything that he was, but to be quite honest, speaking among ourselves, he didn't really do anything spectacular, did he?
No,
he put it down to basics, didn't he? Because you used to lift the ball, and of course you would be going there or that, and you would do something to Wispy, banging the balls in the back of the net. We murdered there at the end of the...
You're talking about the cream de la creme.
Right, no, but me and Barry, what we'd say was we used to go out in a game, you know, and I used to say him before, I says, in Scottish football we used to know exactly, possibly because you played against these people so long, you would say, well, we know what he's like and what he's going to do, you know, give me the ball at my feet, I'd gaze it behind them. But in the European ties, I used to say him before, what do you think? He says, well, try it for 5 minutes. Went for 5 minutes and he says, right, used to go and check back and get the ball at your feet, go and take him. I think that what we had here was unique, because we had...
Jimmy, it is unique.
We had...
What was
it? It is unique, because what we had was, we had a wee man sitting here on my right, Lennox, and a wee man sitting there, Stevie, that was so unbelievable, because see, defenders hate it. The likes of the people with the pace that they had, but we had two magnificent players in the middle of the park who could feed that. We didn't have to tell and talk to each other what was going to happen. They would make cross runs for 40 or 50 yards or whatever, and see their pace used to, defenders used to be unbelievable, didn't they?
Yeah, tremendous.
Is that right?
I remember one day, I never got a programme, and it was a windy day, and I said to me, Bobby, I said, David, I said, will you catch me a programme? Field force wins, we man.
People are talking about football, and what is it to bring the crowds back into the game again? But if you can remember, Caesar, we had people 10,000 outside the park before the game, 20 minutes before, because of why? In case they missed a couple of goals.
They were wonderful they were going to turn up,
10 minutes. And there's a wee fella that joined us as well, Wispy. Wispy was magnificent. For what? Used to play the ball at him, he would hold it, play it off. You know, I mean, I think we're all just, I mean, each and every one is.
Would you? What do you think?
Are you as good a player as Jimmy says you are?
I'll tell you what, Wispy, speak up. What do you think?
I think that, you know, it was magnificent. I joined, as Jimmy said, halfway through that season, for the season that you won everything, the 5. And within a few days of being at Parkhead, I was partially the setup. Where, you know, joining clubs like...
Had you tapped for about a year and a half before?
When I went to Hearts, you know, it was like I was trying to shit for 2 years before anybody would talk to you or do anything, you know, but when I came to Parkhead, within a few days I was part of the group.
This must be unique. I think Bertie must be the only guy that's ever signed for Celtic 3 times. And I think that's true, isn't it? You went to Dumbarton, and then you went to Birmingham, and then you came back, and you signed first of all. I mean, that must in itself must be unique.
Tommy, I'm going to say something to you. It hurts me to see the club in the situation it is at this particular moment, only at this particular moment, because they've had marvellous years. But I believe that football goes in cycles, and it'll come back. Right? When I signed at Celtic Park at the beginning, the boss was Jimmy McGrory. And he said to me, Bert, what would you like to do, or what would you like to see? I said, I'd like to see the jungle. And I went out onto the turf, and it's sacred turf, and it always will be sacred turf. Because if you look back at the history of Celtic Football Club, there's no other club in the world like it. When you look at the St Mungo Cup, the Coronation Cup, European Cup. There's so numerous things that should happen, and it will come back. All it needs at this particular time is a wee bit of guidance, and it'll get there. I signed for them 3 times, and if I was at the age to sign for a 4th time as a player, I would do it, because it's a marvellous place to play in. And Glasgow is the capital of soccer as far as I'm concerned. Ronnie, you played with Newcastle, a couple of cup finals and everything like that. How did you feel coming to Celtic Park?
Well, I said it today already that it was one of my best moments, the greatest moment, was signing for Celtic Football Club.
You were tough and one on it, didn't you? Big joke, tough. Big joke, Selkie.
It looks like
You came into the dressing room, didn't we? We said, what about him? Ronnie, to be honest, be honest, we said, you're joking, him. As a goalkeeper.
Ronnie, we thought you were assistant manager.
What was your, when you look at the English Cup final victories that you had with Newcastle?
They were great events. They were super too, but I think playing for Celtic Football Club, playing for the club, and I mean this, it was the greatest club in the world I'd played for, and the greatest bunch of lads I'd ever played for. I just made the numbers up. There was 10. There's 10 every It's very true.
Ronnie, can I ask you a question?
Because I remember some players saying, keep the ball away from him because we'll lose a goal. If you had a situation where, you know, you were defending and there was a 20-yard free kick outside the box, and you had to make a line-up, you only needed one man in the line-up. You got Bobby Murdoch in the line-up, and that was all right, you see? And in fact, often I had to say to Bobby, turn a wee bit right, so you can see. I couldn't see. That's so you can see.
Tell you what, we were very privileged at Lisbon, weren't we? Because Kearney turned up. I wasn't an athletics meeting that day, so he turned up at Lisbon for the European Cup. And we've not heard anything from him.
Ronnie, can I say this? I thought he made a game here. Could you just talk us through that particular match stage?
I misheard what Jock said, you know, they said to give away a penalty, but before we actually get to the game itself, I think we've been very lucky. The camaraderie we've had today, I mean, it's been a great trip down here. We're only halfway through it, thank God. We've got tonight to go as well. But the kind of feeling we have in the bus coming down and this afternoon here is very reminiscent of what it was like back in '67. I think that was a great thing that we all had going for each other. But the funny thing I remember about getting to Lisbon was that, if you remember the night before the game, Jock took us to a laddie's house up a country road, Roddy Lennox. But then coming back again, and in the eve of a European Cup final, we were coming down a main road to meet the promenade to go back to the hotel, when Neely Moffin suddenly said, there's the hotel there, we'll cut down this hill. And in the evening before the European Cup final in darkness, we ran down a hill to get to the hotel. I think we climbed a wall or a fence or something.
Yourself, right, and Willie, right, being front players, and Jimmy as well, right, Stevie, right, very, very difficult. You're playing against Italian defenders who were well known for their sort of tactics, if you like. I mean, how did you find it, Stevie? Playing against, you know, close man marking and that sort of thing.
Well, at one point I was going to the toilet and this fella followed me in. Well, I was just in luck that day.
You're quite a good looking guy.